All right, let's take a look at how to graph an inequality, a system of inequalities using the ALEKS platform. So the first thing I want to do is graph this first inequality, y is less than 4x plus 7. I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil so that I can go ahead and dot the y-intercept. Put a dot there, see it's there. And then I'm going to use my slope of 4 over 1 to rise up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. And put a dot there. I'm going to use my line tool to connect my two dots that I've already graphed, except I don't want it to be a solid line here. Oops, and you know what? I don't have my line all the way correct, so I'm going to go ahead and erase that line. I don't have it exact, so let me try this again. Point and point. There we go. I really need to make sure I hit those two dots. Now, it's a less than symbol, so I need it to be dashed. So I'm going to click on this, which tells me to switch from solid to dashed, and click on the line. Now I see I have a dashed line. Super. I'm going to go ahead and figure out my shading for that. It says less than. I need to plug in maybe a test point. Maybe I work that out on a piece of paper. But if it's less than, it's going to be below the line. So I'm going to click it, and that's shading that line for me. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil tool and graph the second inequality. I have a y-intercept of 3, so I'm going to go up to 3, put a dot. And then my slope for this one is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to drop down 2, but still to the right 1. All I need is 2 dots. If I want, I can give myself a couple more. Down 2 and over 1. And use my line tool. I want to go ahead and click and make sure it goes through all of my points. So that automatically changed some of the shading that I had. It's a less than or equal to, so I'm good with that solid line. And then it says y is greater than or equal to. So if I click on this, should that be lower than the line or above the line? It's going to be above. So that's my final answer for this. And I can go ahead for this question and check to see if I've got it correct. And yes, I did it. Yay! Some of the other questions ask us to select an ordered pair that is part of the solution. There we go. So let's go ahead. This one requires me to put them in y equals form. So I can go ahead and do that. This is where you're going to need that scratch paper. So for our first inequality, we're going to subtract 3x on both sides. We'll get 5y is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 10. And then we divide by 5 everywhere. Our final inequality should be y is less than or equal to negative 3/5 x, and then minus 10 divided by 5 is 2. So in order to plot that, I need my pencil tool. And I'm going to go ahead and draw up my y-intercept, which is at negative 2. And then my slope is negative 3 over 5. So from here, I'm going to drop down 3 and go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you can't really see the graph, I would highly suggest using your zooming tool just on your touch screen to zoom in and really see where these points are located. I've got that graphed. It was a less than or equal to, so I can have a solid line. If I pick a test point, it's going to show me that my shading should be below the line. Oops, I did the dash. Let me pick the shading tool. There we go. I should be shading below the line. My next step is to graph the second inequality. So for that one, we add 2x to both sides. When we do that, we get 7y is less than 2x minus 7. And then we divide by 7 everywhere. Again, we don't have to switch our symbol, but we should get y is less than 2/7 x minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and take my point tool, and my y-intercept is at negative 1. Put a plot there. And then I'm going to go up to and over 7. Use my line tool to connect my first point and my second point. Make sure I really connect those points. And you'll see that it automatically starts to eliminate some of the shading. And then I just want to make sure my shading is less than this line is lower than the line. So it kind of does the shading for me. And then I want to pick a point in my solution set. So any ordered pair here. So I'm going to say 0, -6. Now let's see. I didn't plot the point. I wonder if it's going to give me a true answer. Or do you think I have to plot the points? I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm going to check it. See what it says. It says partially correct. Your graph, the answer is incorrect. Graph, your answer is incorrect. I wonder why. What did we do wrong? We get to try again. What do you think we did wrong on this? Thought I did everything right. Let's take a look at that second inequality. It says less than. It does not say less than or equal to. So I'm going to go back to my line tool and make sure that that is a dashed instead of a solid line. And I'm going to recheck. It says the answer is incorrect. Graph, your answer is incorrect. Well, why? Why? Let's see. -1 and a slope of 2 over 7. I like that. -2 and a slope of -3 over 5. I like that. Oh, wait, I think I put the wrong line dashed. Okay, so this is definitely, you want to go back and check. So my mistake, this one is my solid line. This one should be my dashed line. Now I'll recheck and see how we did. Ding, 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 we got it right. So this is a trial and error thing. You really want to make sure your slopes are correct and your shading is correct, as well as your lines. So I did not have to plot this point here. So that was good. I don't have to make that mark. So if you're making the mark, maybe that's where it might be marking it incorrect. You do not need to add that point. You just need to name a point in your final shaded area.